All right, here's the deal. I'm going to make you a short-form vertical video making machine. Woo, that was a mouthful. I think it's pretty much established now that most content creators know that short-form vertical media like TikTok and YouTube Short is basically like speed dating between your viewership and your content. And I'm here to make you look like John Stamos. Who? Ryan Reynolds. But this is not your average how to make a TikTok or YouTube tutorial. What I'm going to do is set you up with presets and saves that are going to make you save so much time that you're probably not even going to have to do 80% of this video ever again as long as you follow it step by step. Now, if you don't have Premiere Pro, I'm not going to say that it's unfortunate because I do have an email address going right down there and you can hire me to do all of your Twitch and YouTube VODs and I will make them beautiful. I promise you, just give me an email, hire me. I will make that channel look amazing. If you do have Adobe Premiere, you are in for a treat because I'm going to save you a bunch of time going forward after this video. So please give me a subscribe, please like this video, lay down some comments, some feedback, and get ready because I'm going to give you just the structure right now. And then we're going to get really detailed and fancy in the future, so definitely hang with me. All right, that's enough of the small talk. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's get into it. If you open up Premiere Pro, you're going to want to start a new project by going to File, New Project. Name it accordingly, and you also want to save this local for most people. If you have an external hard drive, most times that slows down trying to pull from that hard drive. You want to save into your local SD. Having effects panel visible is going to really help you in the long run. So what you're going to want to do is go to Window, Workspace, and Effects, and change your workspace to an effects-oriented workspace. Now that you've made your project, you're going to want to add a sequence into your project. So you're going to want to go up top and hit the File, New, and Sequence. Once you hit Sequence, you're going to be prompted with this window, and this is a very crucial moment because this is where you flip the video from being horizontal to vertical. Always name everything because it's easier to come back to and find. Once you're done naming your sequence, you're going to want to go up to this Settings tab up here. So this is set up 1920 horizontal by 1080 vertical, and what you're going to want is to invert that because you want it to be taller than it is horizontal. So what you're going to do is set it to 1080 wide by 1920 tall. All right, so let's get a pause check going right now. Pause this video and take a look at my settings. If they're not matching identically, match them up. All right, now that we're all matched up, what you're going to want to do is the last step in this window, and it's to go down and save the preset. What this is going to do is it's going to enable you to be able to use this exact template every time you open up Premiere Pro, so you never have to repeat these steps. You're going to see your presets refresh after a minute. At the very bottom, you're going to see your TikTok template. Go ahead and click OK. Congrats, you've reached the halfway point. If you followed this correctly, it should look exactly like this vertically oriented video that's in the shape of basically a phone. With that being said, you're not completely out of the woods with housekeeping yet. Housekeeping is a really big thing if you want to keep your channel looking consistent. So this is one way that I like to keep my channel looking consistent. Hold down Command or Control and hit R. This is going to bring out rulers. So rules are a rudimentary staple in making cohesive content. What I like to do is drop an edge inside of a rule by dragging this guy down into the same place for every TikTok or video that I make that has the cam set up top and then the content complementing it below it. I like to find a sweet spot. I think that 570 is a really good place. Now that you have this number and this guide here, you can put this here every time to make sure your cam lines up on every video the same spot. Alright, I know you've been itching to do it. It's time to drop the MP4 into the software. However, you're not going to just drag it right into the timeline immediately. Take the MP4 and drop it into the bottom left-hand corner where it has all of your video assets. Your timeline isn't quite tidy enough for you to drop that in there yet, and I don't want any confusion as we do this, so I'm just going to show you the quick way to tidy up your timeline before you put the MP4 into it. The little blue squares highlighting the video and audio tracks are representing what's active. We're going to keep things super simple right now and just make sure that you have one audio track, and for this, 2 video tracks. Anything else is overkill. For now. I really like having audio 1 and video 1 touching each other nearly. They're so close that every time you look, the audio and the video are lined up perfectly next to each other, so you don't have to scroll to find the audio to match with the video. The time has come. It is time for you to take that MP4 from your assets and drop it into that timeline. Like I said, make sure that the video and the audio are kind of touching each other. Make sure that they're close so you don't have to go ahead and scroll, and you're going to get hit with one of these. So this is basically just Premiere saying, hey dude, what are you doing? We saw that you made this vertical, and now you're trying to drop a horizontal into your vertical. Why are you doing that? You're basically running full speed with a sofa trying to get through a door frame. In which we just say, we got this, Premiere. And then Premiere's like, all right, you want it? You got it. Here's this ugly horizontal video slapped into the middle of your vertical template. How does that look? I know that we're really eager to move, but let's just take a look at your video real quick. Make sure it's butt up against the very beginning of the timeline. All goose eggs all the way across. So go ahead down to the V1 track, only the video, and hit Alt and click it at the same time while making it drag into the track above it. We now have separate tracks for your cam and the content that goes under your cam. V2 will be your camera. V1 will be the content that goes under the camera, most likely your gameplay. We'll be working on V2, the camera, first, so you should lock V1 so you don't accidentally move it or delete it. This is the part where you thank yourself for following the tutorial and getting that ruler dragged down to 570 pixels. Now you have a starting point for where you want your camera to end up being at all times. So go ahead and stretch your camera to make it fit the top end of that screen all the way until that 570 mark is flush with the bottom of your camera. Now here's the part where the effects window workspace is going to come into handy, because now you have to go to the top right effects search bar and look up crop, C-R-O-P. You should see that crop populates underneath of the transform effect type. Go ahead and click that and drag it down into your timeline where your V2 blue bar appears. A good way of acknowledging that you've added the effect to the bar is seeing that that little orange square turns green. You want to make sure that the timeline is on the V2 as well as V2 being clicked. It should look something like this. And to the top left in the effects panel, you're going to see that there's a crop option. So the way that we set this up, you only need to manipulate the bottom of it. So go ahead under the crop bar and find bottom. Click and drag left and right on this little tab next to the bottom, and you can see that it's actually taking up and down the crop of the video that's set on V2. If the effect for crop did not populate in the top left corner for you, here is some way to diagnose what you may have misstepped. If that little orange square is not green, then the effect hasn't set inside of the V2 line. Make sure that you've clicked it and dropped it into V2. Now, if it is green, then that means that the effect has set into V2, and you just need to have V2 selected and maybe even move a couple seconds into the video to pick it up. Hey, what's up, V1? I see you down there. Now that we cropped out the bottom of V2, I can see my content. This is exactly what I was looking for. Your conquest of effects and cropping and all of that are done on V2. It is over. You could go ahead and lock V2 because now you're focusing on V1, which is peeking through your content. The truth about vertical content is that you have to stretch the content. So you go ahead and pull this thing right into the middle as far as you can to touch the bottom. And usually I like to make a little bit of an overlap underneath. Since V2 is on top of V1, V1 is going to go underneath of V2, your cam. This is a really good practice because it's going to make it so there's no gaps between your content underneath of your camera. Alright, so as far as placement and templating go, that is about a wrap, guys. You actually just did a really good job. If you made it this far, congratulations. I really hope that I've helped you. I'm going to have a complete clipping and editing guide completely separate from how to set up this TikTok coming soon, but if you need to have these two clipped, press the C button for razor tool. That's C for cut to get the razor tool. Whatever you do to one video line must happen at the same exact time to the other video line. V1 and V2 should end and start at identical times. Otherwise, you might get an ugly black bar above your content saying that your cam cut off, but your content's still going. In this case, video 1 kept going, but V2, the camera, had stopped because you clipped it, so you need to clip V1 and complement at the same time that V2 was cut. But like I said, we're going to have a full effects and cropping and clipping video coming up very soon, but I need to get you guys exported and ready to upload. So go ahead and hit File, go all the way down to Export, and hit Media. The format should be HEVC H265, which is a complete weird way of saying that's an MP4. Everything else pretty much should be set. Make sure export audio and export video are both clicked off, and your output name, if you click the blue link right there, you can find your destination to export it to. That's a wrap. You're not going to have to do like 80% of that video ever again as long as you did this correctly and you saved it in a place that you're going to remember. That's on you, man. Write it on your hand or something. I don't know what to tell you. If you can't remember where you saved it, that's a problem. I hope this helped everybody, and if it didn't help you, seriously, feel free, just drop a comment. Let me know what I could do to help you out more. Because going forward, I hope that you subscribe and follow this channel because I'm going to give you some tips and tricks of slicing and editing and effects and stuff that's going to make you extremely fancy. So I got you the foundation, I kind of got you where I need you, and now I'm going to turn you into an animal. Editing, effects, uploading techniques, uploading times, voiceovers, green screens, you name it, I will give you a hand. Just give me a follow, give me a subscribe, check out the channel. Thank you.